Alrighty, Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by Mark Shields, the head football coach of the MDI Trojans down in Bar Harbor. Coach, congratulations. A nice win over Ellsworth this past Friday. Um, and I want to ask you, well, I'll let you comment first and then find out who you awarded the game ball to. So you can wrap it all into one.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks. As we talked about, that was a very important win moving forward with the standard. And you know, credit to Ellsworth. They came out. We could tell right from warm up that they were going to be pretty fired up to beat us, as they should have been, and they came right out of the gates and they had the ball first, but they got a couple first downs. We were able to stop them. Then we got the ball and they shut us down. Um, we had to punt the ball away, and fortunately, we were able to hit a big pass play about halfway through the first quarter. But the whole time I was thinking this is going to be a two-touchdown football game. Because both teams were playing hard, both teams were playing with a lot of passion, and uh, both teams wanted to win.
Yeah.
So it was going to be a tough battle. And, we had some things go our way early on. Ellsworth had a couple of turnovers that set them back, and it helped us. And, we were able to get some decent field position on our second score. And then we did credit to my offensive coordinators, Chris James and Elias Byrne. They made some nice adjustments throughout the night that helped us move the ball a little bit better. Got Kenneth Stillwell and Lincoln Gray, you know, making some decent gains.
Yeah.
Like I said early on, it was tough sledding, and finally we were able to start getting it rolling. But I credit my offensive line. They played very well throughout the night, opening up some nice holes for us. And so the game ball is going to go to Joey Bennett. Joey being a senior. I think Joey's been starting 3 years, maybe four, for us. Really proud of Joey. He had a tough year last year with an injury and came back, worked real hard to get himself back this year, and is having an amazing season on both sides of the ball. He had a good night defensively too. Um, so he's going to get awarded the game ball. But yeah, it was a big win for us, and hopefully that can give us a little confidence moving forward against our next opponent, Orono.
You outgained Ellsworth 211 to 65 yards in the first half, finished with a 372 yard to 172 yard. So basically 200-yard differential in the game. I thought that one of the plays that really struck in my mind was well, and Henry Trombetto was involved in both of them. One was Ripley's uh, a great 44-yard touchdown pass to Ripley. I'm sorry, to Henry. And then Henry was involved in a play where he got his paw up there, and it looked like I believe it was Ripley Strout who had gotten behind the defenseman, and the pass Henry just went up and pawed the ball down, and it just reminded me like of a bear swatting the ball down. Walter Churchill, of course, got a great photo of it, and that to me was a huge play in keeping Ellsworth off the scoreboard at that time.
Yeah, oh, no doubt, Chris. My defensive backs, especially Henry Trombetto and Tyson Mace, have been working extremely hard to get better. They meet with Mark Arnold, who, as you know, was my defensive coordinator for many, many years, and
Yeah.
his expertise is working with the defensive backs. So he's been working with them, talking to them, meeting with them, looking at tape with them throughout the weeks, and it's definitely paying off. And those guys are working real hard in practice to get better. And you're right, they sorry, they both had real solid games. And I do remember that particular play you're talking about. Ripley Stroud got behind us, and uh, Henry did a nice job gaining ground and making a play. And I think I want to say Tyson was there with him, but
Yeah.
that was huge. And we were worried about number 33, right? Ripley Stroud.
Right.
He's the real deal. He busted a long one late in the game, and he's just a real true competitor, tough kid. He's a tough defensive player too. He's not afraid to come up and hit people. So
Right.
he was a big part of our game plan, trying to contain him as far as my defense. And for the most part, we did pretty well against him. I mean, you're not going to stop him completely, and he did have some. He had that one big run, and he had some nice gains early on. So he's definitely a handful. But yeah, that was a big play at the time.
All right. So now we're looking at the heel points, and Camden Hills is undefeated, number one at 5-0. MDI is second at 3-2. Holton is third at 2-3. Ellsworth is fourth at 1-4, and then Waterville is fifth at 0-5. Holton, with that big win over Waterville, is, oh goodness, 10 heel points ahead of Ellsworth, and Waterville 0-5 is fifth. We talked a little bit earlier. It's the top four teams in the division that will meet in the playoffs, 1, 4, 2, 3, with 1 and 2 having home field advantage. So you definitely want to finish 1 or 2.
Right, because if you're 1 or 2, you at least get a home playoff game in the
Right.
first round, the semifinals. Um, if not, then you're either going to Camden Hills or you're going to Holton. It
Right.
looks like right now,
Correct.
Unless Waterville rips off a few more wins, or even um, Ellsworth and Waterville. So yeah, I mean, that stuff will take care of itself. I mean, the most important thing, like we always talk about, any team will talk about, is just trying to get better every week, um, and that's what we're trying to do. And you remember last year against Orono, it was not a good night for the MDI Trojans. We got annihilated up there. We had some big injuries, and it was just a bad night.
Right.
So
Right
they
from the
are,
beginning. Yeah.
yeah, right from the start. That was not a good night for us, and uh, that night really almost destroyed our season. I mean, it was just that bad with injuries, and we lost a lot of confidence that night, and it was just bad. I got out coached by Coach Sinclair and his staff, no doubt about it, and so we got to be better. They did graduate some kids, but we graduated kids too. And looking on tape, they're solid. They have a real strong pass game again this year, and they have good athletes to throw the ball to. They have good athletes that can run the ball. Their quarterback, he's a hard hitter. He's a tough kid. He's hard to bring down. He's ripping off some big yards for them right now, and so he's gonna be tough to contain. So it's kind of pick your poison with Orono, who you want to try to stop. Um, so it's a big another big week for us. And you're right, Holton is right on our heels. They're chasing us. Um, and if they and looking at their schedule, I feel like Holton could get a couple more wins. Um, and then who knows? We're maybe going to Camden or we're going to Holton. So we got to find a way to get a win Friday night.
All right. So, and this is a special week. Obviously, it's homecoming week. It's the first home game in a week. And really, it brings all the excitement of homecoming to the football game Friday night.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, there's just something to be said about homecoming and a big football game that Friday night of that week. And, there's a lot of fun activities going on. Each day there's different activities that happen, and there are some big games throughout the week for the other teams. And so it's always exciting. And, and the kids, just something to be said about seniors and homecoming and seniors and senior night. And it's like it's the last of the last for many of these
Right.
players. So, you want to obviously play well, and so we're hoping that we can put a, quality effort out there Friday night and give Orono everything we have.
It was great to see the cheerleaders come up to Ellsworth. because of bus driver shortage. MDI has not been able to have the cheerleaders go to the away games, but I thought it was great to see the cheerleaders there, and kudos to uh, Melanie Omlor and uh, help me, Sanborn, the coach of uh, my brain is just dead. I'm sorry. For MDI, and they had a nice picture of the two cheerleader teams, um, arm in arm with the pom poms, and I mean it was just great.
Yeah, no doubt. It's nice to have them there. I mean, they definitely get the crowd fired up, and it's been you're right. They haven't been able to go on the road with us because of the bus driver shortage and bus shortage maybe. So it's great to have them up there. It's going to be great the next 2 weekends. We'll have them right here for our home games, and once again, it just brings. We talk about it all the time on the show, but that Friday night atmosphere, right? You got the band, you got the cook shack, you got the big crowd, you got the cheerleaders. It's just exciting. It makes everything better.
Yeah, Morgan Sanborn, excuse me, Morgan. My apologies here. When you're my age, it's unless I have everything written down. It's but and the cheerleaders they work hard during the week. I mean they're working on making those banners. They put up the posters. They're doing an awful lot throughout the week to make game day the game day experience super for everyone.
Oh yeah, it's totally selfless work, right? It's all about trying to support the team, and and they don't take hardly any credit for any of it. But once again, there's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that people don't know about. And I think it was last week that they made the banners, and then the banners were missing because they make the banners and then they put them on the hallway out by the locker rooms to dry. And I don't know if somebody took them down, but somebody was just trying to help, and they put them in a room in the building, but nobody knew that, so there was a concern there. But they were found, thank goodness. But you're right; they do an awful lot behind the scenes that we truly do appreciate.
And I remember, I can't even tell you where, but I remember many games where they've been out cheering and just been soaked. I want to say Mount Blue or something years ago, but I mean, and it might have been when Maureen was a cheerleader, but I mean, they have been there through thick and thin, through sunny not or, well, not sunny nights but warm nights, and absolutely crummy pouring rain windy nights, and they were there, gosh, in that state championship a couple years ago when it was literally well below freezing.
Yeah, it was windy that day, and they were there
Yeah.
cheering us on. But you're right; there's been a lot of nights where I was thinking, I might just stay on the bus, but they take it off the bus and they come out and they cheer us on, which is great.
Yeah. All right. So you need a big crowd this week. I mean, the crowd was huge. I mean, kudos to all the students that were there when they moved over from the Ellsworth side to the MDI side. Um, I noticed how big they were when they all came over en masse, and that's great to have that kind of support.
Yeah, no doubt. And it's funny because I'm so locked in on the game that I don't really notice anything around me, of course. And then at halftime, I'm talking to my staff by the bench, and where'd all these kids come from?
Right.
It was a large crowd of kids, and they were there cheering us on. So, right. So, hopefully, Friday night for homecoming against Orono, we're going to have a big crowd come down. And I honestly believe it will be a great game to watch. I think the two really good football teams going at it. It'll be entertaining that way. And, hopefully, if they cheer loud enough, maybe they can help us get a win. We'll see.
Yeah, well, you can certainly hear him cheering. I mean, I always love when the boogaloo starts, and I can hear that on the well on the press box side, which is probably about 150 yards away from the stand. So it's always a neat thing. Coach, thanks so much. Friday night, the game will be on the radio. I'll be on WDEA online on our free downloadable app, sponsored by First National Bank, on any Alexa-enabled device. Kickoff at 7. And thank you for joining us for the Allen Financial Insurance Coaches Show. Have a good week.
Yeah, appreciate it, Chris. Thanks a lot.